Hi everyone, so today I thought I'd talk through something that actually I found really confusing up until when we went to Florida, because it's stuff that you kind of know, but you don't realise that in the UK, these rules don't apply to us. So is that really explaining it very well? Is it kind of comparison of booking to UK to American
kind of, yeah.
booking?
It's the differences between booking a holiday when you're from the UK and what the Americans get to have. And so when you're reading forums and things, you'll be hearing in people's trip reports that they were able to do something that actually we can't do. So these are just some of the things that you will not be able to do if you're from the UK.
The first one, which is the one that I've seen the most mentioned, is you cannot get magic bands shipped to your home address. Unfortunately, in America, well, not unfortunately for them, they get the box and all the magic bands turn up and they get them before, and you see people like customizing them and they draw the patterns on them and things. It's really cool. We don't get that. We basically go to the resort and you pick up a piece of cardboard which has your magic bands on. And that is kind of a little bit sad, but also really exciting that you get magic bands, but kind of you don't get the same excitement of it coming through the post.
Yeah, whereas in America you'll get them early and that builds up some hype, and you see people posting pictures of them opening their box, which is always like quite a nice looking bit of packaging. Ours were literally on just like a cardboard tray pretty much with our magic bands on, which was fine. Like, they are just, at the end of the day, glorified room keys and payment cards, but it would be nice to get them early.
So that's a bit of a shame, but totally fine, you will get a magic band. The next point that I see quite a lot in places that we can't do, but Americans do, is go straight to your room rather than checking in at the front desk. Now Disney kind of done this thing where you can check in online, and obviously you get your magic band and they'll text you your room number and you can just go straight to your room, don't have to bother with reception. You can't do that if you're from the UK. We have to go and actually speak to people, which is...
I'm never a fan of, never a fan of that. And all you want when you get somewhere is to just be able to go to your room, and I think that that's a really, really nice feature that I'm honestly not really sure why they don't do for us. I mean, I guess it kind of goes hand in hand with the fact that we don't have our magic bands. So maybe if they fix that one, then we could get that facility too, because that would be really nice. Just turning up at a Disney property, going, know where my room is, I can go straight to it, and I can just dump all my stuff, and I don't have to go queue at reception and try and tell them who I am. Which
is always difficult for you with your girly first name.
It's not girly.
But then at the same time, I also think that I like someone explaining to me where my room is, because I never know. Like, I like someone going, right, show me a map. Where am I going? This is, and I like when they circle your room in the building, and then where you are, and they draw it. I need that. I need that. I know you can probably Google it.
You can definitely Google
but
it,
I need
or work
that.
it out yourself.
And I quite like it. I like the first cast member you see of the trip, and it's hopefully the nice ones. I've heard some horror stories about people in check-in, but we had a lovely one when we checked in, and we got to get our cups and hang around in like the foyer and see it all rather than just going to a room.
All I wanted to do was go and lie down though, so like, I'm not hugely... I'd like this. I think this would be a really nice one to have.
Another thing, to be fair, most of these points do revolve around. Yeah, most of these points do revolve around getting to Disney and getting to your hotel room, because I think that's what most people plan, because that's the most stressful part of the trip, actually getting there and arriving. And another thing that you can't do if you're from the UK is get your bag sent to your room. I know you can if you take it to the desk and go, can you take this to my room? And they will, but like for Americans, they can get their, like, they get almost like a tag that they can put on their case. I believe it's a yellow tag. And then as soon as the case comes off the airplane, Disney take it and it goes and ends up in the hotel room. We can't do that. We can technically do that, but you have to go to a desk with your case and be like, can you take this to my room?
You can accomplish the same thing, but it's not quite the same as just being able to get off the plane, go straight to Disney, refresh yourself in the room, go out and do something, and come back later and all your stuff's there and you didn't have to speak to anyone. Like, that's pretty amazing. That to me is the future and what everywhere needs.
I don't know if it's a security risk or something like that because we're coming internationally.
I think partly probably because they don't know the room number in advance, maybe, because we're not like as easily able to check in. I do think it all just ties in together. Like, they know that you don't have magic bands. They probably haven't specifically assigned you a room yet that's definitely yours. And you know, so you check in, you get your magic bands, and then they know where all your stuff should end up, and they probably just don't want to deal with it. I mean, to be honest, international luggage, no one wants to deal with that. Yeah.
Yes, that's fair enough. So the next point I want to bring up, and I actually found, like, I really struggled with all these points before we went. I remember asking you, can we do this? Can we do this? And I literally spent ages looking for all different sites trying to find it out, because most places say yes, but then most sites I find are American. So they're like, yeah, of course you can do that. And I'm like, brilliant. And then I go see something else, like on the Dib, and I'm like, hold up a minute. No, I can't.
Hold up.
No, back up. I can't do this. This is upsetting. The next thing, I think this is the final point I have about like travel, is we can't check in a Disney resort, well, check out in a Disney resort and like book your luggage and, well, not check out. You can check out of a Disney resort, but you can't check into your flight. What's it called? When you go, you know, you go to an airport and you go, hey, I'm here for my flight, and they give you a ticket. Check in. All right. You can't check in for your flight at your hotel, because quite a few of the Disney hotels now have a check-in desk where you can check in for your flight, they give you a boarding card, and they take your case at your hotel.
You were able to do that at Disney Springs for Virgin with the Virgin bag drop for a while.
Yeah, that is true.
Is that still running? I can't remember.
Yeah. But that one you have to pay for if you're not. If you're going with Virgin Holidays, it's free. If you're not, and that could have gone up slightly, but for when we did it last, it was $10 each, which is fine, because we didn't do it last time because the Magical Express. That's another point, just to go off on a side tangent. You can't take your cases with you on the Disney buses, so that didn't really work for us last time because we couldn't actually get to Disney Springs unless we got a taxi.
Yeah, and it's not quite as easy and convenient as having the check-in desk right at your hotel or resort. You do have to go somewhere else. There's usually a bit of a queue because that's quite a popular service. It's not quite the same, and it's not quite as smooth. And I think part of that is just the huge difficulties involved with international travel. Like, it's much more complicated to make sure our stuff ends up where it ends up, and it's a whole big headache that I'm sure Disney don't want to deal with. But it is definitely a shame, because that would be so convenient, not having to deal with your bags. That's like my big thing about traveling home, is you just don't want to be dealing with your bags anymore, because by that point, they're so packed full of stuff, extra things, that they're just way too heavy.
Sort of talking about this is you cannot use driving licenses as forms of ID. Now, we were both had provisional licenses when we went, and Ash tried to use his to get alcohol, and they said nope.
We don't accept that. We don't accept driving licenses. You will need your passport, which I think makes sense in a way. They can't be dealing with, oh, is that a driving license? That's a different type of driving license. That's another type of driving license. That one's from a different country over there. Like, there's just too many possible types. At least passports are all kind of designed a roughly the same kind of way. It's a lot easier to teach people about passports than it is about what driving licenses mean and where all the dates are on it. And they're just little plastic cards. They're way easier to fake. So I think for Disney's point, they just don't want to be liable. They just want to go, nope, we'll go with the full thing, and you need your passport with you.
And I know I've seen a few people say they take photocopies of their passports around with them. I don't know if I would risk that, because they could say no. If someone go, you got your passport, and they go, here's a photocopy of my passport, I'd be like, where's your passport? Like, it's just, I understand for the security, you don't want to lose your passport, but I mean, I have full photocopies that I try and keep in my room if I have any problems. Like, if I lose my passport, there's worse places to be than Disney World. They'll still make me go home.
Yeah. But yeah, our tip for this is if you are going somewhere where you've got a nice meal planned with, like, say, a wine pairing, or you're intending to drink around the world, or there's a particular alcoholic beverage that you would like to enjoy at Disney World, just take a passport with you just for that day. You know, keep it in a bag, make sure it's nice and safe, don't let it out of your sight. But if you want to make sure that that definitely happens, that is the form of ID that you will need. And
to be fair, I think we were only asked for ID once the whole trip, and that was at a booth rather than the restaurant. So,
and that was really depressing, because America's really, really hot on that. So we're definitely looking old now, is what I'm learning from this.
Yeah. Like, do you want to see my ID? No, you're fine. Please see my ID. I'm young. But yeah, because I know I'd get caught out on that. I mean, we almost did a couple times. Luckily, I kept my passport on me. I can't remember why.
Well, you had to go and buy me the pineapple cider from that pineapple cider place, because I just didn't have my ID with me. And I was like, oh, this is awful. Sarah's got to go buy me alcohol like I'm some 16-year-old down at Tesco.
Yeah, give me your money. Can you go grab me some alcohol, please? Well, okay. So yeah, this was just kind of a list of things that I really struggled to find like a clear-cut information on before we went, and it's things that you kind of get loads of mixed messages. So I just want to make it clear, if you're from the UK, till today, which is whatever day today is, these rules still stand. I know rules change, like we've done these videos before and someone goes, that's not the same because the rule changed literally like a month later. As it stands of the 10th of January, these rules were in place and they could probably change, but I just thought
now we've made this video, this will prompt the change. Yeah. We'll make this video and next week all of this stuff will be there. We'll get shipped magic bands, we'll get, you know, driving licenses accepted as ID, we'll get all of it, and all because of us. So
remember that.
You're welcome, everybody.
So thank you for watching and we'll see you next time. Bye!
Bye. Thank you for watching this video. Really hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and why not subscribe to our channel? You can also check out one of our other videos that should be on screen right about now.